We'd like to thank you both for joining us today. If you don't mind, would you take a moment and introduce yourselves, starting with Dr. Marcu?
I'm Dr. Monica Marcu. I'm a pharmacologist. I have started my studies as a nurse, and then I went on to study and become a pharmacist. And then I was so interested in finding out about the molecular mechanism of action of drugs. I went to do a PhD in pharmacology, and then I continued my work in drug discovery and drug development, clinical studies, mostly related to cancer research, but also with other areas of therapeutics. And I'm very much interested still in discovering new agents from natural sources, medicinal herbs, and understanding how we can use natural sources for drug development. I consider myself a scholar of nature. I'm never tired of looking at nature, studying nature, and finding the best sources we can use for the therapeutics today.
Great.
Hi, I'm Russ Bianchi. I'm the formulator for Zija. I'm a biochemist by training, and I've been in the business now for 31 years as a primary formulator for the creation of products, beverages, food, pharmaceutical. And I'm a member of the Institute of Food Technologists, which is the largest food science organization in the world, based in Chicago. I'm a former officer of the American Association of Candy Technologists. We're also members of the American Association of Pharmaceutical Scientists and International Society of Pharmaceutical Engineering. I'm happy to be here today to talk about Zija.
Dr. Marcu, what intrigued you so much about the moringa plant that caused you to investigate it further and write what I think is a spectacular book called The Miracle Tree?
Well, I have to say that I have studied and researched and looked to many plants, many medicinal herbs, and we definitely have an extraordinary treasure, an extraordinary natural treasure out there. But we have only studied 1 or 2% maybe of all these plants. And even of those we have studied, we don't know totally, we don't know all the information we should have about these plants. Among all the plants and medicinal herbs I've studied, Moringa is one of the most extraordinary plants I have seen. It really stands out in terms of a wide variety of nutrients, a wide variety of natural compounds that can be used therapeutically. It has many indications. It was used in traditional medicine around the globe. It was known for many years. It was known by Indians, and it was used in Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years. It was known by Greeks and Romans. It was known around the world, and it's still used by many populations around the world as a medicinal plant. But as we studied and researched more, we found out it has an extraordinarily wide variety of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, protein sources. It's an extraordinarily rich plant for us.
We call it the miracle tree, and as your book is titled The Miracle Tree, what is the word, as we speak of a miracle, what is the miracle that you see about moringa?
I haven't called it myself a miracle tree. Other people before me have called it with probably very good reasons. As I said, it's an extraordinary plant in the way that it really collects and puts together a wide variety of nutrients that usually are not found in one single plant. It's a plant that has almost all the nutrients that could be found in a perfect food, so to speak. But also what is extraordinary about this plant is that as the area where it grows and when it grows, moringa or this plant grows in areas that are really generally poor in other sources for nutrition, in geographical areas that suffer from malnutrition. And here's moringa providing the best affordable and local resources for nutrition. It also grows in times where other plants actually don't grow. Moringa comes to leaf and comes to full growth, particularly at the end of the dry season when there are no other sources of nutrition in this other rather poor areas of the planet. So it still provides some nutrients to these people. And it grows very fast. It's probably one of the fastest growing trees or plants known. So it's an amazing plant in many ways.
There are hundreds of reports and analysis on PubMed, and we've been really impressed as we've gone through them and studied them. I'm interested to know what has impressed you in the studies that you've seen about the nutritive qualities of moringa?
I have to say that I've studied many plants, medicinal plants and aromatic herbs, and generally I've studied natural medicine or complementary medicine. And among all these extraordinary sources of compounds that we use for pharmacology today, some of these plants really stand out. Moringa is an extraordinary source of compounds, nutrients, medicinal compounds. There are over 800 publications about moringa. It's an extraordinary plant at all levels. So I was really fascinated by it.
Well, where do you find some of those? You spoke of 800 or so or more.
I didn't read them all.
Where's a great source to find that information?
You definitely can find them in good libraries. You can look for them in PubMed, as you say. The medical publications are coming from the National Library of Medicine, but there's also quite a lot of information in agriculture or forestry related libraries. You can also try specific search engines such as cyrus.com, which is a scientific engine to look specifically for scientific information. There are many sources. You can also try to Google. You can also just
general search engines.
All sorts of articles from newspapers, publications, and of course scientific articles as well.
Are you familiar with different organizations and people throughout the world that are using the moringa plant to benefit their lives?
Moringa, as I said, is known by many populations around the world. Originally, it seems to come from Himalaya or Arabian countries, but it has spread now and it grows in most parts of Africa and South America and in South and East of Asia and so on, wherever you have a rather warm climate. There are quite a number of organizations around the world promoting or researching the use of moringa, specifically in these areas where there's a need for better nutrition. I could number a number of these organizations, such as Optima of Africa, the Church World Service, especially in Africa and other countries of Asia, Trees for Life as well. Even National Geographic has now a program to study various species of moringa. The ECHO, or Educational Concerns for Hunger organization, the International Eye Foundation also tries to promote the use of moringa because it has high content of provitamin A, which counteracts blindness and seroptonia in children in developing countries, and many others that I might not be aware of.
Russ, when we talk about nutrition being absorbable and bioavailable, can you speak to a little bit about that as far as the Zija product?
Yes. We're using moringa at efficacious dosage levels that allow for its absorption osmotically when you drink it. There are many beverages, many nutraceuticals, many products out there where the bioavailability is limited, both in the enzymatic breakdown in your stomach, as well as its conversion and utilization through the human Krebs cycle, which is the metabolization of calories, and into the bloodstream for benefit. What we designed with Zija is a product that not only utilizes all of the moringa, but is optimally used over time and dosage. Many products in the market attest to being bioavailable, but in fact are significantly reduced. That's not the case here with this formula. We failed, specifically I failed, over 143 times in the development of this product before we got it right.
So you failed over 140 times?
Well, we were doing a number of things, as you do with all formulas. In this particular case, we were trying to achieve great taste. We were trying to achieve bioavailability and functionality and absorbability. We were trying to achieve an economic model, as well as a manufacturing model, as well as regulatory compliance. Balancing all of those with an unknown, up till now, botanical that was unstandardized and had never been used in food or beverage before is a very difficult process. And it took many months of intense work to do that. Trial and error and a systematic approach